Crystal Palace, team to watch this season? Crystal Palace has been a mid-table team for the last decade, but are things turning around with Patrick Vieira at the helm? Transfer window? Let's start off with their transfer window. Quite a few players left Selhurst Park this summer, including Cheikhou Kouyaté and Christian Benteke. Both were fairly important for Crystal Palace last season, appearing in 31 matches each and combining 5 goals in total. They managed to make €5.46 million in total transfer fees this summer. I don't expect Vieira to miss either of them though. Kouyaté lacked the technical and passing ability to play as a defensive midfielder, and Benteke was behind Zaha, Edouard, Mateta and Ayew in the pecking order. On the other hand, Crystal Palace spent a total of €34.6 million, where most of that money went into Chick Ducre and Chris Richards. Sam Johnston joined for free and they managed to poach Malcolm Ebiowei from a debt-ridden Derby County. Ducre was their biggest signing of the summer, spending €22.6 million for the promising midfielder from Lens. He played 37 matches last season, scoring once and managing 4 assists, even though he is a defensive-minded player. Patrick Vieira's style of play requires more possession of the ball, and he's a clear upgrade over a technically limited Kouyaté and aging Milivojevic. They spent the remaining $12 million on Chris Richards, a promising young centre-back from Bayern Munich. He's quick, good with the ball at his feet and managed to score a goal last season on loan at Hoffenheim. I feel the Bavarians will regret selling him so soon, and he will undoubtedly be worth far more in a couple of years, although don't expect him to steal Guehi's or Anderson's spot this season. Key players. The Eagles have built a compelling starting 11, full of promising Championship League youngsters and proven Premier League veterans. Their star man is Wilfried Zaha, a player that has scored 15 goals in 37 matches last season and has been sought after every transfer window by top Premier League teams. His pace and dribbling ability makes him one of the most dangerous forwards defenders will have to face. He's never gotten a good support system to help him top the charts, but now with Patrick Vieira at the helm, this might be one of his best years ever. One of the players that will help him the most will be Eberechi Eze. In my opinion, he is one of the most interesting players in the league this season and shows so much potential. He can dribble around any Premier League player, and his vision and passing ability is exactly what Zaha can take advantage of in counter-attacking situations. If he manages to create regular goal chances for Crystal Palace, they'll have an awe-inspiring season and manage to score 65+ goals. Defensive consistency is key to excel in the Premier League, and Crystal Palace has that in Marc Guehi and Joachim Andersen. Last year they managed to concede only 46 goals in the league, 20 less than the season before, and they're only getting better. Their positioning on the field and knowing when to engage in one-on-ones is superb, and, excluding the 30 minutes where they conceded versus Manchester City, they have been one of the best defensive duos out there. They will be fundamental in determining the success the team will have, and will probably have multiple teams coming for them and for a hefty price. Weak spots. Crystal Palace are obviously not one of the favourites to clinch 6th place and win a place in the Conference League, and here are some of those reasons. While they are full of top-class players, some key positions have been left pretty weak, especially their right back. While Mitchell continues to perform well and grow, the same can't be said for veteran Nathaniel Clyne. At the age of 31, Clyne isn't at the level he was at Southampton or even at Liverpool for that matter, and he doesn't have the pace he used to have. He lost half of the passes he made against Manchester City, lost more one-on-one duels than he won versus Liverpool, and is the Eagles' worst-rating player this season. Vieira desperately needs to find someone new for this role, possibly Spurs' Japhet Tanganga or Norwich's Max Aarons. Another weak spot in the South London side is their central striker. While Zaha mainly plays out left, the striker position is usually left to either Odsonne Edouard or Jean-Philippe Mateta, neither considered great goal scorers. They only managed 10 goals in total last season, and if you're a club looking to improve in the Premier League, you're going to have to go out in the market and splash out on a good striker. They should probably find an established striker looking for a new club like Mauro Icardi or Yussuf Poulsen. One last thing holding Crystal Palace back is their lack of good substitutes. Most teams that finish in the top half of the table can manage to replace an injured starter with a similar level bench player, and most of Crystal Palace's bench is full of championship level players. If something happens to Zaha, Eze or Guehi, the team's performance will greatly suffer. If they run into an injury crisis like the one Chelsea had last year, they won't even finish top 12. Fixing this will take a couple of years, but they could start by poaching recently relegated teams' star players for a discounted fee. Conclusion. With the guidance of Patrick Vieira, a man who was deeply questioned when he arrived at Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace is evolving into a modern team with captivating players, and if all goes well, they'll follow in the footsteps of West Ham or Wolverhampton. Their position in the table doesn't paint the full picture of how they've started the season, having played against Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester City. The only match they played against a mid-table team, Aston Villa, they managed a comfortable 3-1 win with an advantage in most stats. Once they start to play against teams on their level and win more points, you can count on them being in the contention for finishing in the 8th to 6th area of the table.